Have you ever caught yourself looking in the mirror and thinking, why do I look and feel so old lately? Or maybe comparing yourself to a friend and wondering, why does she seem so much sharper and quicker and more with it than I do? And she's older than me. Well, there's something we don't talk about enough. Aging doesn't just show up in our skin or our joints, it often shows up first in our brain, our thoughts. Because every change that we want, better energy, better sleep, better choices, start with our thoughts and a clear thinking brain. If your brain is foggy, distracted, overwhelmed, stressed, it becomes incredibly difficult to follow through on the very behaviors that keep us looking and feeling young. And then our motivation really dies down, right? You can't focus, remember clearly. You're not just dealing with brain fog, you're losing the mental clarity that drives healthy actions that help reverse our biological age. And that's why the first step isn't exercise, diet, or supplements. It's actually getting the brain functioning optimally. So when the brain is clear, the rest will follow. Most women I work with, they're trying to do everything right. They're taking vitamin B12, omega-3s, vitamin D. But if your brain isn't firing properly, all of that effort doesn't quite come together. So today I want to talk about a specific nutrient backed by real research that helps restore the foundation of healthy aging in our brain. And it's not just magnesium. It's one particular form of magnesium that's completely different from the rest. Researchers at MIT in 2010 discovered a form of magnesium that can cross our blood-brain barrier and increases the synaptic connections in our brain's memory center. So when this form was studied in humans, the results were eye-opening. It's called magnesium L-threonate. And in randomized, placebo-controlled clinical trials, adults who took this magnesium L-threonate for just 6 weeks showed measurable improvements in their memory, reaction time, and overall cognitive performance. So researchers use standard cognitive tests, the same kind of tests that are used to track brain aging. And based on those results, the magnesium group performed as if their cognitive age was about 7 years younger than when they started. Not because they took a stimulant or they pushed it themselves harder or because they were exercising. The only thing they changed was getting enough magnesium inside the brain where it actually matters. Hi, I'm Dr. Manon Fielding. I'm 71. I'm a holistic physician. And today I want to show you how this nutrient deficiency can mimic early cognitive aging and decline, and exactly how you can correct it. So if you see yourself in this, you're going to want to pay attention. Unfortunately, most of the magnesium supplements that you find in the store are either magnesium oxide, citrate, or glycinate, which are excellent for muscles and sleep and digestion and heart health, but they don't get into your brain because your blood-brain barrier is a powerful security system and it protects your brain from toxins, but it also blocks certain types of nutrients from getting through. And here's the real problem. Magnesium deficiency is incredibly common, especially in women over 50. So studies show that 50 to 75% of adults don't get enough magnesium from their diet. So if they tell you that you can get enough from your diet, that's just not true. And there are 3 big reasons for this. First, our soil is depleted. The food that we eat today simply just doesn't contain enough magnesium that it did decades ago. Second, stress burns through magnesium rapidly. So every cortisol spike causes poor sleep, emotional stress, all accelerate that loss. And third, common medications interfere with magnesium absorption. Things like acid-reducing medications, diuretics, antibiotics, birth control pills, and even hormone therapy. So even if you're eating well and taking all medications, you might be deficient. Let me explain why magnesium is so important for your brain. First, magnesium is essential for neuroplasticity, which is our brain's ability to form new connections and adapt to and learn new information. Without enough magnesium, our learning slows down, our memory suffers, and mental clarity can fade. Second, magnesium protects your brain from being overstimulated. Think of it like this: your brain cells get stuck in overdrive, and when that happens, they fire too much, too fast, for too long. And what happens then? We get wear and tear in the brain. It's like revving up your engine nonstop without any oil in your car. And magnesium then acts like a calming brake. It helps to slow things down and quiet that excess brain noise and protects your brain cells from burning out too quickly. So how would you know? When you notice anxiety, racing thoughts, difficulty sleeping, poor focus, that could be the magnesium deficiency. Third, it's essential for brain energy. So even though your brain is only 2% of your body weight, it uses 20% of your energy. So every thought that we think, every memory we recall, every decision we make requires brain energy. And magnesium is necessary for that energy to be made in your brain. So when your magnesium supply is low and you don't have enough of this magnesium threonate, your body simply can't have enough fuel, and you get brain fatigue, and it just feels like your brain's not firing the way it used to. Let me explain to you what you can do about it. This is the protocol that I use with my private clients. To optimize brain function, first you want to supplement with magnesium L-threonate, specifically for the brain health. And the research dose that was used in the studies was 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams per day, split into 2 doses. Now, some people find it stimulating and maybe too much at first, so start with a lower dose and then increase it as you feel you can. Okay, you want to look for products that are made with Magtine or Neuromag. Those were the kinds that were used in these studies. Second, if your sleep is an issue, you can also add magnesium glycinate at night, 200 to 400 milligrams about 30 minutes before bed, to support relaxation and deeper sleep. Third, increasing magnesium-rich foods in your diet does help. Those are dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, almonds, cashews, wild-caught salmon, avocados, black beans, and even a little bit of dark chocolate. You want to aim for about 320 milligrams of magnesium from food each day, in addition to these supplements. Fourth, you can test your magnesium levels, but it doesn't work with a standard blood test. Blood magnesium often will look normal even when you're deficient. You need to ask for an RBC magnesium test. That reflects the intracellular levels. For optimal brain function, you want this to be in the upper end of the range, which is about 6.0 to 6.5 milligrams per deciliter. And finally, give it time. Sleep will often improve within a couple of weeks, but cognitive clarity and memory can take 8 to 12 weeks to start improving. Rebuilding brain infrastructure takes time. And when my clients stick with this, they often tell me, I feel like my brain is working again. I feel like myself. And your learning will improve. You'll start seeing these changes. And I want you to understand that magnesium doesn't work alone. It works synergistically with the B vitamins, vitamin D, omega-3s, zinc, and it's also influenced by your blood sugar balance, your hormones, your gut health, your sleep quality. We're talking about holistic changes here. So if this is resonating with you and you realize that nutrient deficiency may be a part of your brain fog puzzle, I want to give you something comprehensive. I created this free guide called Ageless Mind How to Rewire Your Brain, Body, and Hormones. And inside you'll find complete supplement protocol, dosages, timing, all of the things we talked about today. The link is below. And remember, menopause isn't a decline. With the right tools and support, it can become your most vital chapter yet.